This is starting to become a massive problem. The thing that I'm talking about today is something a little bit more serious than the stupid jokes I make about movies or about angry Karens that get mad because people are fishing in their lakes. But today I'm going to be talking about the growing problem of going after children on YouTube. The reason I bring this up is because recently there was a situation, it was literally within the last couple of days, of Ava Chris Tyson, formerly Chris Tyson, who is part of the Mr. Beast gang or whatever you want to call it. It turns out that they had been communicating with a minor very inappropriately. And the reason I bring this up is because about a month back, we had the same type of situation with arguably one of the biggest streamers currently in Dr. Disrespect, as he also was found out to be contacting a minor, and that's the whole reason that he was banned off of Twitch. And everyone, rightly so, unanimously agreed that Dr. Disrespect talking to a minor is bad, which it's bad. And for those of you who did not think that it was a bad thing, that he may have been talking to someone who was 17, here's a news flash for you. It's still very bad. There's no excusing it. It's just unacceptable. End of story. You can even look at this incredibly long yap session that Dr. Disrespect ripped out, basically confirming that that's exactly what he was doing. So not only did everyone figure it out, he came out and said it himself that he did something bad, which we can all agree, hold hands in kumbaya moment here, that talking to underage children in a not so good way is bad. If you recognize that that's bad, your good noodle star will be coming in the mail for you. Congratulations. But the reason I bring this up is because recently, with the allegations that have come out against Ava Chris Tyson, is that they were also talking inappropriately to someone who was underage. And you would think that everybody on the face of the earth would hold hands in kumbaya moment and go, yeah, this is bad. Because my stance on the entire thing is Dr. Disrespect talking to a minor, that's bad. Ava Chris Tyson talking to a minor, that's also bad. They should both be classified as terrible. But what I've noticed a lot with some of the bigger streamers and just talking heads on different platforms is that Tyson situation, for some reason, isn't as bad, or they're handling it with kid gloves for some reason. Kid gloves probably isn't the best terminology to use here, but that's what it feels like. So the easiest example of this is two very prevalent streamers, one of them Pokimane, which if you know who that is, congratulations. The only reason I know about them is because of other drama channels that I watch. It's not something I care to watch, but given the Dr. Disrespect that happened, their first tweet to immediately come out of that was, rightly so, yuck. Congratulations, Pokimane, you did it good. The reason I bring that up, though, is that immediately after the Tyson situation, Pokimane decides to put out a tweet. You would think that it would be in the same kind of vein that the Dr. Disrespect one was, right? Just immediately saying this is bad, Dr. L respect, Dr. No respect. You probably see one of those sick burns coming out here, but quite the contrary. Instead, we get a two-parter tweet, that being, I don't know all the details regarding the Ava situation, but I want to make it clear. Any inappropriate behavior towards minors is unacceptable, regardless of who you are. It's a shame that people see this as an opportunity to attack the trans community as a whole. One person's actions does not reflect every single trans person, so please don't view it that way. What are we doing here? Why is this the first thing that comes to mind in this situation? When I read the story that came out that Ava Chris Tyson was talking to a underage minor, my first thought wasn't, oh my god, how will this affect trans people? It's, Ava Chris Tyson is kind of not a good person. That should be your first go-to here. This shouldn't be that hard to think about. You shouldn't be racking your brain to figure out, well, how does this affect the community as a whole? You should just come out and say, Ava Chris Tyson, bad. You did a no-no. You took the fat, massive L. Get ratioed, nerd. Like, that's the first place your mind should go to. Why are you putting out a tweet saying, this doesn't represent all trans people? What? That makes no sense to me. This would be the exact same as if the Dr. Disrespect whole situation came out. And instead of immediately piling on the, I don't know, person that likes kids a little bit too much, instead of immediately piling on them, you go, but how does this affect 6'7" white men? Let's remember, not all 6'7" white men who also, by the way, cheat on their wives like children. Make sure we don't go there. No, we tell them to take the L. That's it. You hit them with that, drop the elbow from the top rope, and then you dip. That's it. It's not that hard. But instead, we're taking a moment to make a PSA about not all trans people like kids. Okay, weird take, but why is this your first go-to? Why are we so hesitant to immediately dogpile on Ava Chris Tyson? Explain this to me. I don't understand. And this, it would be a one-off if maybe Pokimane was the only person to do this, but they're not. Of course they're not, because most Twitch streamers, they have the same kind of mind. It all just morphs together into some conglomerate of sponsorships and getting donos from people. But there's another one. There's Valkyrae, which again, this is not an area expertise of which I am high on. You can ask me 10 times out of 10 what type of videos this person makes, and I couldn't tell you. It ain't my boat. This ain't the type of content I watch. I watch Family Guy reruns because I'm a moron. But when the whole Dr. Disrespect thing came out, off rip, first tweet to come out of it, Dr. Disgusting. Congrats. That's good. That's a gold star. That's what you should do whenever something like this happens. That is an A+, S tier response. Congratulations. But the reason that I bring this up is because of the response that they had to the Ava Chris Tyson situation, which I'm not going to spoil it, but you do get a little bit of a cookie if you're able to tell me what their response is going to be like with this situation. Well, class, let's find out. I'm still in the process of moving, so I haven't been able to fully keep up. But in the meantime, since I've been tagged a bunch, pedophiles equal bad. Yes, congrats, good job, A+. You could have just ended it there, but you didn't. Trans does not equal pedo. That's what the line through the equal means. You don't have to say trans doesn't equal pedo, but you know, I guess you don't understand what that is. I'm not shocked that you don't, but that's what that means. Great double negative. Maybe that's what they're doing subliminal messaging here. I don't know. The actions of one trans person does not mean all. Sucks to see so many anti-trans people act as if it does. I'm hoping Ava speaks up. Dr. D is still gross. Lastly, to the incels that only tagged Pokey and I to speak up even though everybody did after D did himself, you're weird. Focus your hate towards pedos for once. Again, is it not strange to everybody that the first thought process in this situation is not that Ava Chris Tyson is a bad person? Why is this not the immediate go-to? Why are we not just immediately coming to this conclusion? Why is it that when Dr. Disrespect does something terrible and he should be punished for, everyone does? Everyone piles on him. Everyone says, Dr. Disrespect, you're a very bad person and you should be treated as such. Yes, he should. I'm not excusing what Dr. Disrespect did. This is not a Dr. Disrespect apology video. Dr. Disrespect can get lost for all that I care while still staying monetized. Why is it that when Ava Chris Tyson talks inappropriately to a minor, that this is the first reaction? It's not, Ava, you did a bad thing. You're not a good person. Why is it, this is not what all trans people do? Don't see this as this is what all trans people are. Why can we not just agree that this is a bad person? Why are you immediately playing damage control? That makes no sense. I don't understand why we're handling this with kids' gloves, or why we're trying to act like this doesn't speak for everyone as a whole. I'm not saying that, and if you're saying that, you're stupid. Because just because one person does something does not mean that everybody does it. One white person can be racist doesn't mean all white people are racist. One trans person can be a pedophile and not all trans people be pedophiles. Just because one person does something does not mean that everybody is that thing. The color of your skin does not define the actions of your character. The gender or non-gender that you decide to portray does not associate your actions. It's a person-to-person basis. I don't see why we have to do this whole loop-de-loop runaround to say that, oh, because Ava Chris Tyson is also transgender, it doesn't mean that they're all doing this. Nobody is saying that. Why can we not just accept the fact that Ava Chris Tyson is a bad person? Why are we doing this merry-go-round, walking on eggshells around the fact that they are not a good person? But when Dr. Disrespect, also a bad person, comes out and does something bad, we can just pile on him. And that's it. Again, I'm not trying to defend Dr. Disrespect here. I didn't like him before this stuff happened. But the fact that it's okay to pile on him, but not okay to pile on Ava makes no sense to me. And before people in the comments come out and say something about the victim, and that's what I'm going to refer to them as, that the victim came out and said that, oh, it's fine, it was just some edgy jokes. I'm sorry, but you don't really get to say that. As someone who was underage when this happened and you were being told edgy jokes and they were sent videos that you should not send people that were underage, you can't necessarily come out and say that you're not a victim, because you may not see it as that way. You may feel like you were just boys and you were just talking about stuff, but you don't make jokes like that with people who are underage. It's a very simple line. If they're under the age of consent, you should not make jokes about stuff that are required to be over the age of consent for. It's really not that hard. My girlfriend has a younger brother who, shocking, is under 18. You know what I don't do? I don't make inappropriate jokes with him, because that's not something you do with someone who's younger. It is a terrible thing to do. It is something you should never do. And that's something that will get you in trouble, because you're a bad person if you do that. There's also another video of another victim who came forward, of someone who was also in the Discord chats with Chris Tyson, or I don't know what they want to go by. I'm just going to say Tyson from now on. Someone else who was in the same Discord chats as Tyson, saying that, yeah, they linked to stuff that, minors should not be open to.
Chris Tyson from MrBeast used me, manipulated me, and did very inappropriate things with me while I was about 15 years old. I was actually friends with Lava GS at the time, who is the main victim of Chris that everyone has been talking about these last few days, who claims he isn't a victim, but we all know he is, and we all know he probably got paid off. Not only that, but he's also under an NDA from when he worked for MrBeast Gaming for 2 years, and he tried to get me to join MrBeast Gaming himself, Lava. He's the one who actually sent me the contract and tried to get me to sign the NDA, at which point I ended our friendship because I knew they were just trying to silence me. Me and him were both initially involved in running Chris's Discord server, helping him set up his Twitch streams and moderating them.
Nate's calling me. Hey, what's up? You're on stream.
You just leaked your address. Please end your stream. As well as other technical back-end things that he needed help with. This Discord server that we were a part of had about 10 people in it, most of whom were minors. I'm not sure how they got in there, other than me and Lava. He won a giveaway and Chris invited him after that, and Chris invited me after I saw one of his tweets asking for help setting up a Garry's Mod server for the 10 million subscriber MrBeast video. This turned into us having lots of private conversations with Chris and playing video games with him for hours on end. Not only did we do a lot of unpaid work for him that he promised he would pay us for, he would also frequently bring up sexual topics that was definitely not appropriate to bring up around 15, 16-year-olds, especially with him being like, I don't know, 20, 21 years old. He would even go as far as linking me several different corn and hentai videos throughout the time of me talking with him. Not only that, but he had an NSFW bot in his Discord server before he made it public. So when it was just a private server, his little circle of minors. And he would use this NSFW bot to spam different corn images, alongside all these 15-year-olds. He would also frequently call me dad and daddy, as well as the others, which I guess we all kind of just took as a joke at the time. You have to think this is someone who we looked up to at the time, we idolized, we thought was the coolest person in the world, so they couldn't really do any wrong in our eyes. But looking back, I was definitely uncomfortable at being called.
He also mentions that they had to scrub a lot of the N-word out of there, because I guess that was something that they said a lot, which I don't feel like people are focusing on either. That seems like something that was just kind of glazed over.
But before it did, he had me and Lava spend multiple days scrubbing this Discord server clean of all of the N-words he had sent in it, as well as his friends, as well as deleting the NSFW channels and making sure no one could see that he was spamming corn to minors.
This, I don't understand why people aren't talking about that too, but I don't know, maybe it just hasn't hit the mainstream yet. But I just don't see why even though this person who is clearly a victim, I understand they can come out and they can say what they want now. They can try to, I'm not going to sit here and add on to some conspiracy saying that he was paid off or anything like that. At the end of the day, when these actions happen, this person was underage. They should never have been forced to be experienced to that. They should have been able to live their life freely as a child without having to be introduced to this. Even if there was no actual meeting up, this wasn't an episode of Chris Hansen's To Catch a Predator. This is something that should not be introduced to children, and that's what they were at this time. They were 15 and 16. They were children under the age of 18. I don't care if they're probably more mature than I am currently at my current age. It doesn't matter. You cannot interact with children in that way, and it's unacceptable. And I'm really sorry to Lava that he had to experience this. I'm really sorry that he had to have a portion of his most likely innocence taken away because of actions like this. And I also feel the same way about whoever it was that Dr. Disrespect was talking to. They also should not have been subjected to the terrible things that happen to them. It's terrible whenever somebody commits crimes against a child. It is unacceptable and it is terrible. And that's why it hurts me. It makes me feel dirty inside. It makes me feel gross to think that just because Chris Tyson identifies as something that they shouldn't be treated the same way as everybody else, or the fact that because Dr. Disrespect is kind of a jerk and out there and he should be able to be piled on. The answer every time is people who interact with children in this way should get no sympathy. They should not get any type of explanation. There should never be a let's wait and see type of deal. It should never be a let's wait for the whole story to come out. If you are interacting with a child and it is known that you are interacting with a child, you should most definitely get what's coming to you. I don't know how else to say it. You should be punished to the full extent of the law, and that's the way that it should be. And I know that I brought up Dr. Disrespect's tweet earlier. Obviously, Tyson also came out with their own Twitter. It's not as long as Dr. Disrespect, so I'll go ahead and read it real fast. It starts off by saying, I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I have learned that my old humor is not acceptable. I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why I have stepped away. And regardless of whether they're edgy jokes or not, this is also the same person that bought art from a guy who would commission, stuff that I'd rather not say on here, but pictures of children drawn in not so great situations. That's a weird joke. I don't buy that as a joke and put it up on my wall. The only things I have up on my wall are Godzilla stuff. It ain't nothing like that, Chief. So the fact that you say it's just edgy jokes, it really makes it feel like you're trying to minimalize the stuff that you did, which go for it. It doesn't change the fact that you did what you did, and you're not a good person for doing so. My final statement on this is I just wish people would treat them the same way that they do Dr. Disrespect, and nobody should get preferential treatment when they are harming children because of whatever class they belong to. If you harm children, you should go to Snake Island, and you should stay on Snake Island. And whatever the snakes do to you on Snake Island, I don't care. I really don't. So that's just my opinion on it. I also wanted to include this clip of Ninja here at the end because I never really liked Ninja either. I just never really watched his. I don't watch a lot of streams, but he's kind of based.
Like, I don't tell you, I don't, dude. I go out of my way to make sure that I am never even alone in another room with a woman ever in any moment. Like, even like my PR person, like it doesn't matter who it is. I don't care if they work for me, whatever, bro. There is someone else in that room at all times. If we're alone, I leave instantly. That's on like fidelity, right? As for anything else, dude, it just, I don't DM anyone, bro. I DM my boys. Like, I DM like guys in the community. No, there's no private messages going on with any girls. If there are, it's like someone like Chica or like, just like people in the space. And then I let my wife know. And then as for like people that I know, bro, if I don't know you, I am not DMing you. I don't want to get to know you, dude. I don't want to find out you're only 17. Like,
honestly, I'm not I don't know what the whole base thing is, but the fact that he kind of has the same mindset. I don't see why people would go out of their way to interact with people that they shouldn't be. And Ninja's just like, I only text my boys and I only hang out with my wife. Big dub, Ninja. We need more people to have the same Ninja mindset and, you know, maybe just be better at Fortnite. Maybe that's the key. But I don't know. I'm not usually into this whole YouTuber drama. I just kind of wanted to talk about this because it's something that, I don't know, it really kind of frustrated me to see that people aren't treating people who try to take advantage of children the way that they should be. They should be treated like scum because that's what they are. But I don't know. It just frustrated me. I really kind of wanted to talk about it. I'll go back to making my stupid little movie review videos. I have one that I'm working on that should come out here not too long. And I have another video that I also am working on, which maybe that'll be funny. I don't know. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about that. Thought it'd be funny. No, not funny. That's a terrible way to end this. I just kind of wanted to talk about it. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one then.